Enigma of the Whispering Shadows. When I moved to a small town in northern Bohemia, I didn't expect to experience something that would change my life forever. I rented an old house on the edge of a forest that looked like it came straight out of a fairy tale. The stone walls and moss-covered roof gave the house a unique charm that immediately captivated me. I was thrilled by the tranquility and the beautiful nature around me, but soon I realized that not everything in the house was as it seemed. The first night, I slept deeply, exhausted from a day of moving. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by a strange noise. At first, I thought it was the wind, but the sound was rhythmic, like footsteps. When I looked at the clock, it was exactly 3 a.m. I checked the whole house, but there was no one there. However, the footsteps continued, as if someone was walking on the roof. I eventually attributed it to my imagination and fell asleep again. The next night, the situation repeated itself. This time, I heard the footsteps directly above my bedroom. I climbed into the attic but found nothing once again. I began to feel uneasy, but I didn't want to give up the beautiful house because of a few strange sounds. On the third night, I was awakened not only by the noise but also by a sudden chill. The temperature in the room dropped sharply, even though it was warm outside. When I opened my eyes, I saw a shadow in the corner of the room. The shadow of a person. I wanted to scream, but my voice was stuck in my throat. The shadow slowly moved toward me, and I was paralyzed with fear. I woke up on the floor the next morning, still in shock from the previous night. I decided I had to learn more about the history of the house. I went to the local library, and after a long search, I found old newspapers. The house I was living in had belonged to the Novotny family 100 years ago. Their daughter, Anna, had mysteriously disappeared and was never found. Some said she was murdered, others that she ran away. However, everyone agreed that her spirit never left the house. I was determined to find out the truth. That evening, I went to bed with a camera set to record. When I checked the footage the next morning, I saw something that took my breath away. At 3 a.m, the camera shook as if someone was walking past it. Then a misty figure appeared on the screen. The figure stopped by my bed and watched me for a moment before disappearing. I didn't know what to do. I decided to leave the house. I spent the last night with the lights on, thinking about my escape. At 3 a.m, the lights suddenly went out, and I felt that I was not alone. The shadow appeared again, but this time it was closer. It was Anna. Her face was pale and her eyes empty. She whispered something I couldn't understand, and then she vanished. I packed up and left the house the next morning. I never went back. Even today, when I hear footsteps at night, I feel the chill of her presence and remember the night I encountered the ghost of Anna Novotna. After I left, I read about several other tenants who lived in the house after me. All of them left within a few weeks, some even within days. Each of them described the same experience: footsteps at night, sudden cold, and the apparition of a girl's shadow. The locals began to consider the house cursed and gradually avoided it. One day, I received a letter from the former owner of the house, apologizing for not telling me about its history. The letter said that Anna was a young girl who suffered from mental health issues. She was locked in the attic because her family feared she might harm herself or others. One night, she disappeared and was never found. The family believed that her spirit remained in the house, seeking peace. A few months ago, I decided to return to the town and visit the house. I wanted to help Anna find peace. When I arrived, the house looked more abandoned than ever. The doors were locked, but I still had my old key. I entered, and I was immediately greeted by the familiar chill. I went to the attic, where I found an old diary. It was Anna's diary. She wrote about her sadness, loneliness, and fear. On the last page, she mentioned that she wanted to leave but didn't know how. I closed the diary and said aloud, "Anna, if you're here, I know what you went through. I hope you find peace." As I turned to leave, I felt a warm breeze, as if someone had gently touched my face. The house suddenly felt quieter, more peaceful. I believe Anna finally found her peace, and the house will no longer haunt anyone. Since then, I have felt calmer and more balanced. I learned that sometimes we have to face our fears and help those trapped between worlds find peace. The story of Anna Novotna became a reminder, not only for me, but also for others seeking truth and reconciliation.